If you're in a position where you know that you can do a better job of standing out and differentiating your company in your market, maybe you feel like you're also like being left behind by some of the companies in your market that are really investing in their marketing and their branding. Maybe you're in a market where private equity has come in to scoop up some of your competitors and there's increased competition. There's a lot of ad spend. You're not quite getting the results that you're used to getting from your Google ads, your LSA, your social media ads. Your ad spend is going way up and your results are going down. That's a very common thing we see. And I'm going to talk with my friend Dan Antonelli about how to overcome that and how to combat that in today's extremely competitive marketplace. So Dan, awesome to have you here, brother.
Thanks, man. Good seeing you again.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think you hit it on the head as far as being outgunned, right? So what's happening in the market is so many PE-owned companies are just outspending some of these smaller companies. And the big question we keep getting asked is how do we compete with this? How do we stand out in this market? They're spending so much money on media. They're spending so much money online, spending so much money on LSA. Right. So the idea and a lot of what you talk about is the same concept of how do we become known within that community and how do you maximize each impression, right? So the idea is maximizing and delivering value with each impression and building a brand that is truly disruptive and doesn't blend in, right? So the more you blend in, the more it's going to cost, right? So what can you do to differentiate your company and your brand in your space?
Awesome. Yes, we see that a lot where these private equity companies or even the big contractors, we work with some of them, they have deep pockets and they just try to buy up market share and they try to buy the traffic. Same with Angie, Home Advisor, you see them at the top of the ads results. So we know as small to medium-sized companies, we're not going to compete with that. So how do we take the battle off the battlefield into a blue ocean, not the red ocean where all the sharks are? We need to go into a blue ocean where it's like wide open and the opportunities there. So how do you guys do that?
A lot of stuff is grassroots, right? So you even just think about the basics, the fundamentals, like attending home shows, putting up lawn signs, making sure your truck wrap is unique and disruptive right within your community. Those are great opportunities just to have your brand really just be visible and delivering that experience of what the consumer is going to get if they hired you. It's all about controlling that impression. But it would be much nicer for Mrs. Jones who wants to hire you to just simply type in your name into Google rather than roofing company near me. And then you're going to pay through the nose to get delivered to that, search result.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a technical layer to that a lot of people might understand. But when you're competing with like roofer near me, like you're going to pay a lot for that lead. And we've been seeing a lot of companies, a lot of our clients even like, man, Google ad spend is going way up. Leads are getting way more expensive. But when someone's like Googling your company name, there's less competition for that because it's your company name, right? And so you should run ads for your own company, the branded search results, but it's going to be way less expensive and they're looking for you. So it's not like you're competing with Chuck and 5 other roofers or contractors for the same project. Like they already have this idea that they kind of want to go with you unless you're like astronomically high, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing is like Google loves weak brands. They make a fortune off of weak brands. They love it when no one knows your name because you're going to have to pay through the nose to get them to know your name.
Right.
So it's always much better, obviously, each impression becoming sticky in their mind, becoming that 5 mile famous so that they really remember you when they need service.
I love that. You're going to pay more when you don't stand out. Dan's company, KickCharge, provides branding services. Like you guys do rebranding. We provide marketing training. And I think there's like, if you're home services or contracting company, you might look at KickCharge or Contractor Dynamics like, wow, that's a lot of money, right? To invest in like marketing. I don't really understand it. I don't know how it works. But at the end of the day, like you talked about it just on stage now, like that company's going to be able to spend less on marketing and get better results. And same thing with us. We're teaching you guys on how to do your video content, how to get out there on social media. Ultimately, our clients actually spend less on their marketing because their brand is stronger. So long term, you're actually saving money by going with KickCharge or Contractor Dynamics.
Yeah. And you've seen the results too for companies with better brands, like how that translates and how much more efficiently the marketing works. So that's the whole idea is like if that foundation isn't solid, it's very difficult for the other things to work as efficiently as they could have.
Absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned it. And we have never talked about this. I don't think you should be spending maybe 5% or less on marketing, like 5% of your revenue.
Yeah.
And we say the same thing. So if you Google that, like how much of my revenue should I spend on marketing? The answer is going to be like 10%, 12%, 15%, like crazy numbers. Like Yeah, I don't know how you can run a profitable business like that. Like that's too much, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's way too much.
It's way too much. So when you have that brand, you're spending a lot less.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why obviously it's an investment in something that's going to, recoup very quickly.
Okay.
Like we talked about, not only just in terms of your ad spends being less, but your average tickets being higher, your recruitment being easier, your close rates being better, your booking rates are better. So everything follows suit with that. So a lot of times too, it's just a matter of being able to maximize the leads that you get already, right? So the better brands have better booking rates, better close rates, and obviously higher average tickets. So then you even need less leads because you're actually generating more revenue and doing better with the leads that you're already getting.
Right. Absolutely. And a lot of you guys listening or watching don't know those numbers that Dan's talking about. Your booking rate, your average ticket, your close rate, like those numbers are numbers that every business needs to know, because what gets measured gets managed. If you don't know those numbers, you can't improve them, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, those are super critical KPIs to really understand.
Yeah. And if you don't understand those, the default mode is say, I just need more leads. I just have a leads problem. You might not have a leads problem.
It's a close problem.
Ooh.
Or it's a booking problem.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be, a CSR issue. I mean, it could be any number of things, but sometimes it's just driven from the brand. That's why they're not closing, because people don't believe there's a reason why they should choose to do business with you or pay a higher average ticket.
Right.
But when people say, oh my God, I can't get paid enough for my work. And it's like, well, there's no reason you're giving the consumer to believe that they should pay more for your work. You're not delivering value.
How long you been doing this?
29 years.
That's it?
That's it.
29 years.
I just started.
Just getting started. How many companies do you think you've worked with?
It's well over 2,000 at this point.
Okay. 29 years, 2,000 companies. I think this is a guy that you guys should listen to. You don't have to listen to me, but listen to Dan, because he's an OG.
Thanks, man.
And he's always evolving too. I think that's critical, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's one way to describe me, an OG.
Not old, original.
Yeah.
But always evolving. And man, it's so we're honored to have you here at our event. Our philosophies align so well. You brought your books, branded, not blanded, to give out to our attendees today, which is an amazing gift. The book is great. A lot of graphics. Just, it's a really nice, well put together book.
Yeah, thanks. I really just wrote the book so that people that are starting a home service company or have one already really can learn from it and implement a lot of the things we talk about and avoid some of these mistakes, right? So even if you're starting a business today, I think it's a super critical book to read from day one. It'll save you a ton of heartache down the road. But I just thought there's not really one book that actually talks about home service branding. So I said, let me write one, then put basically 29 years of what I learned into it, and hopefully it'll help some other people. Yeah,
I would say you own that category, home service branding. Like you pretty much own that.
Well, we've got a great team. I mean, it's we have an amazing group of team that is so talented and so dedicated to our mission of just changing the lives of as many home service contractors as possible.
That's a great mission. That's a great why.
Yeah.
That's why you're successful, because it's not about the money.
No.
I know that. I know you're having record-breaking months and when you're growing like crazy, that's cool, but
yeah,
it's about serving people.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, anyone, home service, contractor, roofing company, you got to stand out. Guess why? Because we're in a world that's very noisy. You've got to stand out. There's a lot of competition. Check out Dan's book, Branded Not Blanded. We'll link to it somewhere. Get in touch with KickCharge. See what it's like to work with their company. Contractor Dynamics fully endorses Dan and KickCharge. They're amazing. And we don't put our endorsement behind just any Joe Schmo. So definitely get in touch with those guys. And whatever you're doing, just implement. You got to do something. You can't just do the same old thing and continue to expect success.